Hi, I'm Brianna Kohler, and this is my proposal for my project, Inclusion in Fashion, making adaptive clothing accessible to physical disabilities. When we get dressed, it may take minutes or even less, but for somebody with a physical disability, independent dressing can be extremely difficult and in some cases may not even seem like an option. Something like zipping up a jacket or a hoodie may seem simple, but to many, it's a goal that could take years to master. Adaptive clothing is to help people with disabilities and give them the opportunity to become more independent and to give them a sense of normalcy in their own lives because it helps them to dress independently in a way that's easier and more accessible. My proposal will bring awareness to adaptive clothing to families, local service providers, and community members. And many don't know what adaptive clothing is because it isn't commonly discussed or seen in many clothing stores. And by reaching out and providing this information about different types of adaptive clothing, how it can be purchased, where it can be purchased, my proposal will bring awareness of adaptive clothing to families, local service providers, and community members, as many don't know much about this because it is not commonly discussed or even seen in stores. By reaching out and providing this information about what types of clothing are available that are adaptive, how to purchase them, and where to purchase them, a large group of people will be given the opportunity to find clothing that not only fits their personal style, but also provides them with independence that they may have never had before. I chose to focus on the accessibility of adaptive clothing due to my experiences and work with students and adults with disabilities. I am a special education major here at Kutztown University, and my work began because of a multiple disabilities classroom and an autistic support classroom that I helped out in when I was still in high school. I watched some of these students struggle to put on their shoes, to use a zipper on their jackets or their coats, and even for some of them get their arms into a shirt and then button it. And in a way, I thought that was normal. They struggled, and we just had to keep working until they can do it. It wasn't until about 3 years later, here at Kutztown, that I had a professor teach me about adaptive clothing and introduce the topic. After hearing about it, in a way, I was almost upset because I watched so many students struggle and need assistance with clothing, and so many people have no idea that adaptive clothing even exists. This is something that would benefit large groups of people, and I want to normalize the idea of adaptive clothing and bring awareness to the families that can now have a newfound independence. Any money needed for this project, for the most part, will be going towards the purchasing of a few different types of adaptive clothing, which I will bring with to events when I reach out to the community. Having these with me will give families the opportunity to feel clothing and see them firsthand how they work, and even figure out what types of adaptations may exist that would specifically benefit them or their family members. I would like to raise at least $500 to purchase a few of these items, as they can become very costly. And this will be the main cost of the project, and any other expenses I'm expecting involve the creation of the physical presentation, which is projected to be about $30. When recruiting for my project, I would like to start with students that are currently in the NSLS, or National Society of Leadership and Success program at Kutztown University, because many of them will need community service hours. After finding people within the society, I will then contact clubs that we have on campus that are involved with people with disabilities. This includes Best Buddies, the Council for Exceptional Children, Spread the Word to End the Word, and a few others. I will be reaching out to organizations in my surrounding counties that are resources for people with disabilities, and I will be presenting at these organizations. and I will be inviting the local disability community to attend the presentation and explore adaptive wear. These organizations focus on helping those with disabilities and their families, and working with them will allow me to focus on presenting to people who would benefit most from an understanding of what adaptive clothing is and how to find it. Some of the identified organizations that I am going to be reaching out to are the Arc of Lehigh in Northampton County, Lehigh Valley Center for Independent Living, SAM Inc., Supports Coordination, and Michaela's Voice. Success with this project will be having reached out to people and giving them a better understanding and leaving with more about the importance and functions of adaptive clothing and the different types than they came in with.